Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me, I'm at the beginning of what promises to be a very long day. I'm pulling a double shift. We've a packed show for you this morning, and then when this show is over, I'll be putting the finishing touches to this evening's show on the subject of car park demolition. I sincerely hope you can join us around. Or you can stick around for today's show and also join us again this evening, 7 p.m. for car park demolition with C&D engineering consultants Mike Keogh. And if that wasn't enough, I'm due on a Zoom call tomorrow at some ungodly hour in the morning. We're working on something very new and extremely secret for a major equipment manufacturer. And the first step towards that project begins with that call. Honestly, can't wait to tell you what it's all about. So watch this space. Almost, not quite, but almost as exciting as that, we have a giveaway for you today. Those very fine folks over at Plantworks have sent me an advanced batch of merch, and I'd like to give away the first item on today's show. There you are. It is a Plantworks bag. Ideal for a camera, ideal for your sandwiches, ideal for whatever you care to. Biscuits. Biscuits are going to be on the subject, on the list of topics today. So if you would like to be in with a chance of winning that, please type in the chat the word bag, B-A-G. I'll keep reminding you out throughout the show, but the lucky winner that's pulled out the hat at the end of the show will be walking away, skipping away quite possibly with that Plantworks bag, which is something of an exclusive. So please type the word bag into the chat. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Wednesday, the 15th of February, and welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, Volvo helps you manage tasks right across the construction spectrum. It's more than just equipment. Ahead of our trip to Las Vegas next month, we are revisiting AMI attachments, and for the love of JCB, plus driving fence posts. What could possibly go wrong? We'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to astronomer Galileo and to explorer Ernest Shackleton. Happy birthday also to actor Cesar Romero, who is the Joker from the old Batman TV series from back in the 60s, to motor racing driver and Damon's dad, Graham Hill, actress Jane Seymour, Simpsons creator Matt Groening, and to heavyweight boxer Tony Tubbs. To outside comedian Chris Farley, Incubus singer Brandon Boyd, and to Ronnie Vanucci from The Killers. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Now, before we get the show started properly today, here's a quick reminder of our question of the day. And we will get to your answers on that, and also to find out who's won the exclusive Plantworks bag at the end of the show. Now, we need some of this. Have you ever stopped to think just how many tasks are involved in a construction project? How many disciplines, how many people, how many machines, and how many individual jobs that all combine to bring a job to fruition? Well, Volvo has, and it has also created a solution to keep all those balls in the air and all those plates spinning. Volvo construction equipment, eh? They really have thought of everything. Right, I'm going to remind you very quickly, up for grabs today, we have an exclusive Plantworks bag. Just to prove it is a bag, there you go, it is a bag, ideal for sandwiches and biscuits. Don't forget the biscuits. If you'd like to win that, then please type the word bag, B-A-G, into the chat, and we'll be drawing that at the end of the show. I think we've only had about 4 entries so far, so let's get some more of those in. So, there you are, out in the middle of a field. The weather's pleasant and you're looking forward to a day of driving fence posts without the fear of interruption. What could possibly go wrong?
We put a rock spike in the ground to part the hole, knocked it in, and the next thing everything exploded and the ground lifted and we'd gone through the gas main.
I think we've probably all had an anecdote or know of someone that's hit or had a near miss with a pipe or cable, but this is one that was of a fencing contractor that was caught on video, and we're just so grateful for Elliot to share his time, because it's critical that people understand that anyone can hit a pipe or cable, and you can think you're working safely, you can not think about what's under the ground when you start work, but if you come into contact, this could be something that will change you and your family's lives forever.
We went for a farmer to put a fence up midsummer. We was working there for about a month prior to the accident. He advised us to put a fence up in the last field, one straight run, but 2 metres away from the hedgerow, for a footpath. So we'd started putting the fence and we got halfway down and we needed to put a strainer in. So we put a rock spike in the ground to part the hole, knocked it in, and the next thing everything exploded and the ground lifted and we'd gone through the gas main. I'm doing it today to raise awareness for other people, not to be in the same situation that I was in, and make sure everyone does a line search so it doesn't happen to anybody else.
That came back, what time was that? At 10:30 we did it on the 17th, and it came back at 10:35. So
It's been
5 minutes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's the key thing, is that it is just 5 minutes. You know, when you accidentally hit that one, that was all mapped, and that would have been the difference. So anyone can use the service, and that is literally anyone from those people working on a major construction site, so building major linear projects such as HS2 or a road network, or it could be someone replacing a garden fence or digging a pond in their back garden. I think the benefits of doing research is, first of all, it's free, it's open to anyone, and it will help keep you safe. So we're here on site today and looking at a near miss or an incident where someone was very close to hurting themselves and maybe other people around them. And I think that really brings it into context that anyone can damage an asset. When you're doing a fence replacement or a new fence, that seems like a normal, safe activity until that last fence post was going in, everything was fine. It only takes that couple of minutes to do the search before the job starts to help keep you safe and make sure that is avoided in future.
It's funny, isn't it? I tend to think of utility strikes as a purely inner city problem. Clearly, gas, water, electricity services extend out into the countryside too. So please be careful out there, people. Now, I know Jim Turner has just pitched up. Morning, Jim. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Please note that we are doing a giveaway today. I've destroyed it. I've actually flattened it, but we have an exclusive Plantworks bag to give away. Just type the word bag into the chat and you could be in with a chance of winning said bag. Now, let me go with, I think we need a bit of this. If you were here last week, you may recall that we featured a film from the fine folks at AMI Attachments over in the US of A. Well, they have another one. Given my love of attachments, I kind of had to share it with you.
At AMI Attachments, our customers don't buy buckets. They don't buy grapples. They don't buy rippers, rakes, forks, or blades. Our customers buy productivity. They buy efficiency, durability, and dependability. AMI Attachments do more than move dirt, demolish buildings, and build roads. They determine profitability. They achieve success. And they bolster the reputations for our customers and our dealers. At AMI Attachments, we say, it's not a job, it's a performance. That means the details matter to us. It means when we do the little things right, they add up. This is what drives us. It's why product development never stops. And it's why dealer support is our first priority. With over 200 different products, we've got the tools for excavators, wheel loaders, loader backhoes, compacts, and more. The Graptor Integrated Thumb Bucket, a first-to-market innovation. Exmore, high-productivity mining buckets offering 20% more payload. Axis tilt rotators, complete dexterity without hydraulic cylinders. And Ramcam, the all-new patented drivetrain for bucket movement that's protected. Since 2001, AMI Attachments has been working across North America in every big iron application. Construction, demolition, recycling, forestry, mining, and agriculture. It all comes from our 100,000 square foot facility near Waterloo, Ontario. This is our headquarters. It's home base for everything engineering and product design to automation, fabrication, assembly, and shipping. Success is what we set up our dealers for. Our online dealer quoting tool, Blackbird, delivers 24/7 mobile access to real-time pricing and allows dealers to convert a quote to an order and track each delivery as soon as it's shipped. AMI product specialists cover United States and Canada with knowledgeable expertise. Flanked by our inside sales team, you've got go-to resources for recommendations, sizing, and quotations ready when you need them. Fast Track. When you see Fast Track, it means your product ships with a shorter lead time at no extra charge. Did we mention shipping? It's included. LTL or full truckloads. It's in the price, to your door, even with customs. Sure, we use the toughest steel, but nothing beats the strength of our 2-year limited warranty. When thumbs, couplers, and line screws are required, AMI offers valuable, no-hassle installation at the factory or on-site. Quality products. First dual member worldwide for Hardox and Strength certifications. Dedicated dealer support teams. Modern manufacturing. Installation services. It's these little things that add up. They make the difference. And that difference gets noticed by our dealers and customers. You're not buying a bucket. You're buying a system of excellence. You're buying a proven track record. And you're buying a solid reputation. This is AMI Attachments.
Because our visit to Conexpo is now less than 1 month away, I've drawn up 2 lists. One is a list of the companies we need to visit. The other is a list of people we want to visit. AMI Attachments is pretty close to the top of both of them. And I want to go back to a question that I think it was Gary Muirhead. Yeah, there we are. Morning, Gary. Thank you very much for that. Is there a dealer in the UK? That, funnily enough, is one of the questions that I will be asking when I get to see AMI Attachments. Not entirely sure how well their Graptor thumb attachment will go down over here. Probably very poorly, I would imagine. But I'll be asking the question nonetheless. I'll keep you posted.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Right, this is your final warning. You've got about 2 minutes, I would say, to type the word bag into the chat to begin with a chance of winning an exclusive PlantWorks bag. Just to show, has a perfect for your son, as I would say. If anybody would like to win that, please type the word bag into the chat. BAG. We'll be drawing that immediately after the film that we're about to show you. And speaking of that film, I need you to imagine that it is still Valentine's Day. So cast your mind back 24 hours-ish. JCB actually teased this film yesterday morning, but they didn't actually release it until it was too late for us to feature on the show. But it really was far too good to ignore. So here, for the love of JCB, is that film.
Never let you go. Never let you go. I'll never let you go. Never let you go.
So what are we saying, guys and girls? JCB3CX. Are we swiping left or are we swiping right? Incidentally, if you follow me over on LinkedIn, you will know that I got myself embroiled in a conversation yesterday about Valentine's Day and about how it is marketed. And there was, unfortunately, I wish I could show it to you because it is that poor, but the company involved actually took it down again. What you've just seen there is JCB featuring Valentine's Day, featuring a young female operator, and doing so in a modern and sensible way. The company that I was talking about yesterday over on LinkedIn still referred to the helpless young woman, and along comes the topless, strapping, tattooed man to save her. It's like the last 30 years never happened. Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to give you one last opportunity. Type the word bag into the chat within the next 10, 20 seconds while I throw the thing up on the screen. Let me have a look. Bear with me. I'm going to do it again because the sharing the screen has just gone wrong. Let's have a look. It's that one I want, and it's that one I want, and it's that one I want. There, we're seeing it now. We have got, what have we got? We've got 5 entries to win the PlantWorks bag, which is that right there. I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are closed. It is time to draw. Let's see who has won the bag. Gary Muirhead. It seems oddly appropriate because some of you won't know this, but Gary actually won a bunch of prizes before Christmas. I took them to the post office myself, and I have somewhere in this mire, I probably have a receipt for proving the fact that I sent them, and they got lost in the Christmas post and the strike and everything else. And as a result, poor old Gary didn't get his prize, which I think is terribly, terribly sad. However, we can actually put that right now. Gary, please drop me a line after the show to make sure 100% that I've got your correct and up-to-date address, but that is going to be winging its way to you later today, and congratulations on that. Right, let me roll one of these.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends and your colleagues, particularly if you're working anywhere near a gas main or an electric line. Please stay safe. Have a great day and thanks for watching. But if you do have the time and the inclination, please stick around. I'll see you on the other side of this for the Craic. Gonna change up the music a bit today. Oh yeah, that's about the mood I'm in. Morning everyone, how are we all doing? The bromance continues. I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the chat. Who was first off the mark? First off the mark, as is often the case these days, Steve Williamson. Good morning, Steve. And I know your sidekick is going to pop up in the chat in just a second, but we'll get to him in just a second. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Who was next? It was a closely run tie for second place. Gary Muirhead says, "Good morning, Mark. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Gary, and congratulations." That will be winging its way. I've just realised this kind of matches my backdrop, doesn't it? Not bad. It's almost like somebody thought about it. Yeah, there we are. Ken Hatcher was also very quick off the mark this morning. Morning, Ken. I don't know if you saw it. There was a report yesterday that the moratorium on all things Welsh roads is set to continue. Only now, rather than blaming it on a lack of money, they are blaming it on, or they are claiming that it is towards sustainability. So if you're expecting any road work down your part of the world, Ken, you might have a bit of a wait, I'm afraid, my friend. Al Grierson's here as well. Morning, Al. I take it you didn't enter the prize to win the Plant Works bag on the basis it probably would have cost you a week's wages just to get it through customs over in Luxembourg. But thank you very much indeed for being here. Always good to see you here. Yeah, I saw this, Peter. Peter McKenna's here as well. Morning, Peter. Morning, everyone, from a bed at Royal Preston Hospital, which is not really where I want you to be watching from. You should be watching from HS2. In fact, you should be at work at HS2. Just so you know, Peter is currently laid up with a very severe chest infection that has actually put him in hospital. So get well soon, Peter. We'll be keeping our fingers crossed for you. Lots and lots and lots. There we are. The entries for the bag. Steve Williamson, sorry, my friend, you missed out. Ken Hatcher missed out, and Peter McKenna missed out as well. Gary Muirhead, however, did not. He has the magic touch. Now, my question of the day, and this was prompted largely by the fact that I'm on a diet and I can't eat them at the moment, and boy, oh boy, do I miss them. What is the greatest biscuit? And I have a funny feeling that I already know. There is one person I agree with, and everybody else I disagree with to varying degrees. So, Peter McKenna puts forward the custard cream. Not even in the top 20, in my opinion. Just saying. A gold biscuit, says Steve Williamson. Not bad at all. A rocky red biscuit. Don't think I've had one of those, and I feel like I've been cheated. Yeah, we flagged up the exploding fence post video at the beginning of the show. I think Steve Williamson, I know the fence post video. I think you're about to show. If it is, then my God, yeah, the guy was very, very lucky indeed. But it is a very good reminder. Again, as we say on the show an awful lot, every incident and accident and even fatality is a potential learning opportunity. If that guy had a lucky escape, then maybe by showing that, somebody else may have a lucky escape as well. Back to the biscuits. Our Walker's Pure Butter Chocolate Chip Shortbread. Not a fan of the shortbread, I have to say. And I realise if there are any Scots tuning in, you've probably got a problem with that. Gary Muirhead says, a chocolate digestive. A chocolate digestive, yes, but I have to draw a distinction. Personally, it has to be the dark chocolate. The milk chocolate, it's all right, but the dark chocolate, now you're talking. Al Grierson proving that biscuits are not a serious matter whatsoever. Local shopper switched it to a lesser brand, so I'm boycotting them at the moment. Seems like an extreme reaction to a change of biscuit, but okay. That fence post was last year. It was on BBC News. Yes, I know, but I think it's the same as these. You know, when you see reformed drug users being brought back to advise on using drugs. I think, the very fact that they've got some footage that shows exactly what can happen if you're not paying attention, if you're being a bit careless, or if you're just working away to your heart's content, I think to dredge that up again is probably a good idea. Fence posts can be seen on the moon still. Yes, I think you probably can. Volvo have been going all out on supporting software recently. Emma now this. Although I love how they are just improving productivity by telling the line to go up steeper. Yeah, every little bit helps though, doesn't it? I have to say, I wish, particularly at the moment when I am currently about as busy as a one-legged man in an arse-kicking competition. I would love something, some sort of project management tool to keep me on track. As it stands at the moment, I'm doing this show. I've got to prep for this evening's show. I've also got to prep for tomorrow's show. I'm in the middle of drawing up a presentation for somebody else, and I've also got to prep for a meeting with this equipment brand that's at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Listen, there are plates falling all over the place around here. Jim Turner's here as well. Morning, Jim. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Hope you appreciated the tunes. There's a piece of very sensible advice. Ken Hatcher says, dial before you dig. 100% right. Jeff Pinion, our friend Mr. Brock, is here as well. Morning, Jeff. Thank you for being here. Here is where I start to agree. Lou Carney, the Bourbon biscuit. One of the undisputed kings of the biscuit world, in my humble opinion. Not everyone agrees, but somebody has beaten it. Now, personally, if you put me in a shop full of biscuits, I'm walking out with a rich tea, mainly because I'm a tea drinker and I do love a dunker. But there is one biscuit that I believe to contain crack, and we'll be mentioning it in just a second. Let's have a look. Gary Muirhead says, is there a dealer for AMI attachments in the UK? Not as far as I know, and I know Steve Williamson has actually said he doesn't think there is. I will be asking the question. I know one of the things with exhibitions, I know everybody always thinks about it as a showcase for new equipment and for showing their wares, but one of the key aspects of a major international exhibition like this is actually looking for dealers. I don't know if that's the case with AMI. I don't know whether they have any interest, bearing in mind they've got a huge market in America. I don't know whether they're interested in this tiny little island that we call the UK, but if they are, more than happy to showcase them. Looking forward to meeting up with the AMI guys over in the States. And this is where we get into addictive territory. I can buy myself, one of those big packs of rich tea, and after 4, 5, possibly 6 with a cup of tea, I know I've had enough. There is one biscuit where enough does not exist. Jeff Pinion has said it. The Lotus Biscoff. I could actually eat my own body weight in those. And all the time I'd been doing it, I know they'd be doing me harm. I realise they would be triggering my diabetes like nobody's business. But they are the crack of the biscuit world. So good call, Jeff. I'm certainly with you there as well. The other half of the dynamic duo, Robin to Batman. Abbott to Costello, Wise to Morecambe. Ed Butler is in the house. Morning, Ed. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. And as you can see, the bromance is continuing. Steve Williamson has just welcomed his partner in crime with Morning Handsome, and Ed Butler has responded with Morning Love. Just warms the heart, doesn't it? It really does warm the heart. Kerry Jones in the house. Morning, Kerry. Thank you very much indeed for being here. As Gary Muir has just said, get a room, you two. The worry is, I think they actually have a room. I'm not entirely sure if they're sharing, but yeah, awesome stuff. Good morning. Finally managed to tune in after a busy week or so. Has something been going on, Lou? Was it aftermath of Exec Hire Show, or was it the build up to Plant Works, or was it all of those things? Ed Butler says chocolate digestive, case closed. Dark chocolate digestive, and you have me on board. Steve Williamson says, I can't afford the ones with the chocolate. This is the man that said yesterday he was heading off to Dubai. I think he speaks with a forked tongue. Ed Butler says, the M4 Relief Road in Newport will never happen. Heads of valleys with the last big road project for the foreseeable future. I wish I had the BBC report to hand. But I mean, certainly they actually drew up a list of all of the projects that were scheduled for Wales, all the road projects that were scheduled for Wales, and every one of them pretty much has been canned. The worry, of course, is what does that do to the Welsh economy? And Ken, I'll leave you to chime in on this. When you look at the way that we build roads, not just here, but overseas as well, they are part of the economic growth of a country. And I think the biggest thing as well that struck me when reading that is it kind of flies in the face of what's happening here in England and quite possibly in Scotland as well. Our Scots commentators will, I'm sure, pipe up on this. There was a time when the UK used to make stuff. Now, with the notable exception of JCB and Thwaites, we don't make stuff, we buy stuff. Hence the rise again of these major out-of-town warehouses run by the likes of Amazon. They're being built up and down the land. Now, those warehouses only work, they only function if there is a reliable and functioning and ideally not packed with traffic road close by. Now, if you drive up the M1, up the M40, up the M42, any of these places, you see these major warehouses either there or they are being built. What happens to Wales? Now, I understand, as I say, the moratorium, I think, initially was drawn up primarily to save money, to cut costs. The devolved government decided to keep the money in their pocket. They're now saying that the main reason for not building roads is purely because of sustainability. They don't like the idea of emitting all that carbon to build new roads. But new roads are surely a function of a modern functioning society. If you need to get your Amazon delivery, you need roads. If you need building materials, you need roads. If you need to ship products, you need roads. If you need to stock shops, you need roads. And as much as I'm as green as the next guy, unless that happens to be the Incredible Hulk, obviously, but I'm as green as the next guy. But I think the Welsh have taken a very, very serious wrong turn on that. Love to have your thoughts. Jim Turner says, the missus bought me a massive box of them at Christmas, which was great, but they were wrapped individually, which slowed down my normal biscuit eating rhythm. There is a rhythm, isn't there? There is a rhythm. A friend of mine, sadly no longer with us, was a coffee, it had to be coffee and ginger nut man, but he went two up, back to back, and they were always back to back. You know, you get the really flat side and you get the bobbly side, flat side to flat side, in coffee, bosh. And yeah, he could take down a fair few ginger nuts on that. Those bit of things are, biscuit things are speculoos over here. Very nice, pink decadence. Oh, chocolate covered Biscoff, but speculoos? I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, but speculoos may actually be my favourite new word. Could you direct me to the speculoos, please? Love it. Our biggest road project in Scotland, the A9, has now been scrapped. Oh, it's not good, people, is it? It's not good. And particularly when you think of the makeup of parts of Scotland and most certainly parts of Wales, and I'm thinking perhaps more specifically about North Wales here, we are talking about some fairly remote places that are utterly dependent upon roads to deliver goods and produce and food and stuff, but also to transport people either to employment or back home after employment or whatever it might be. It all feels a bit short-sighted. It really does. Dan Cullen's in the house. Unfortunately, Dan, you are a bit late and you missed the chance to win that. Gary Muirhead snagged it before you could even turn up. But thank you very much indeed for being here. Now, I'm going to fast forward very quickly to tonight, 7 p.m. tonight. We will be hosting our evening show in conjunction with C&D Engineering Consultancy, and we're going to be talking about all things car park demolition. And to be perfectly honest, one of the reasons that we're doing so is because It was basically prompted by something that we reported here on this show just a few weeks ago. There is this very serious concern, and I'll come back to things about roads in a second. There is a very serious concern that the weight of modern electric cars, our Teslas and what have you, is actually causing undue damage to our car parks. And I was actually speaking to Mike Wolf, who is the editor of World Highways, on Twitter this morning. Morning, Mike, if you're watching. And I actually said, what we're talking about tonight is purely for car parks. But you would have to think, if those cars are that much heavier, they will also be causing more stress to roads and to bridges as well. So there is a potential highways thing there as well. So, our friends over in Wales who are now deciding no more road projects, what happens when those roads actually start to crumble under the weight of hordes of Teslas being driven to holiday homes on the North Wales coast? Love to know. Now, here is some very important news which wasn't planned. I know we gave this away, but this wasn't planned. But Lou Carney has just said, registration for Plant Works is now open. Now open. Please, people, go get your tickets. www.plantworks.co.uk. Excuse me. Too many biscuits. I haven't had biscuits, actually. But yeah, Plant Works registration is now open. www.plantworks.co.uk. And I realise that some of you are watching from overseas. Al, I'm looking at you. I realise some of you are watching from Scotland, and that the East of England Showground is an awfully long way to travel to be at Plant Works. But please, everybody else, if you possibly can be there, be there. Obviously, I want you to go and see the plant. Obviously, I want you to go and see the tech. Obviously, I want you to go and make Louise Carney's life an absolute misery. But most of all, I'd love to meet up with you guys, and the coffees are on me. I can't believe I just said that on there. That's going to cost me a bloody fortune. But yes, please go register. www.plantworks.co.uk. Even the rugby has gone downhill in Wales. Ed, I will have to take your word for that, because rugby may as well be a foreign language to me. Don't understand a damn thing about it. It comes and it goes, and I haven't the foggiest idea what I just saw. But autocorrect strikes again. I'll put together a food aid package for you once you're off your diet. And will that food package contain speculoos? Speculoos. That has made my day, that has. Kind of reminds me of my wife the other night, insisting that the word for something really tiny was minuscule. Not minuscule, minuscule. And we pointed out the fact that she was saying it wrong, and bless her, she said, "Are you sure?" "Yes, because I speak English." I'm minuscule. The speculoos, yeah, I'm all about the speculoos. So, going back to where I went off at a tangent there. Yeah, tonight, 7 p.m, Mike Keogh is going to be here from C&D Engineering Consultancy. We would love as many questions from you people as we possibly can. Please, lots and lots of questions related to car park demolition, the equipment used, the methodologies used, why it's necessary. And one of the things that I'm going to be asking Mike Keogh tonight, and it only occurred to me once I started planning for tonight's show, is we kind of find ourselves in a slightly odd position at the moment. My local shopping centre over in Epsom Town Centre, pre-COVID, was forever packed to the hill. You couldn't get a parking space in there without paying for it. Well, you have to pay for them anyway. But parking spaces were at an absolute premium. Absolute nightmare to get. Now, post-COVID, there seems to be a lot of spaces there. It might, I'm talking weekdays, but I'm also talking Saturday afternoon as well. There seems to be an awful lot of parking spaces. Epsom High Street is not what it used to be. The word is that we're about to get a Primark, which you can take or leave. But whereas it used to be a sort of a really thriving little town centre with lots of different shops, and some destination shops as well, we don't have that anymore. We have more charity shops and coffee shops than we have anything else, which is fantastic if you want to buy a second-hand jumper or have an overpriced cup of coffee. But apart from that, there's absolutely nothing to bring you to the town. People are now shopping online. So you would think that there is a potential to take that car park down. So on the one hand, maybe those car parks are now becoming superfluous because of the death of the high street. But then, as I've mentioned before, on the other hand, I can't help thinking that anyone proposing the demolition of a car park, that to me strikes me as a vote loser. We know that vote winners are things like mending potholes. Nobody likes to drive their car over potholes, and particularly if they're outside your house or outside your place of work. Potholes are a nightmare. If you can fix them, you are suddenly God's gift to all things. Car parks are the opposite of that, because if you decide to knock down a car park, the retailers will be up in arms because it will impact their footfall, and the local residents will be up in arms as well because they can't park and get to their shops, those that still go to the shops. Very sensitive subject, so please join us tonight, see what you make of all of that. Wow, Viking Direct do speculoos. I can't believe I'm saying the word speculoos, but Viking Direct do them and they can be delivered, but they, as Lou said, they are not cheap. Thankfully, I'm going to go and have a look as soon as the show's over. I wish the links on the chat on this show would actually work so that I can actually see what we're looking at. But I'm going to go and check that out, Lou. And if I get myself some speculoos, maybe that should be your new nickname, Lou. Speculoos. You wear glasses. From henceforth, you are speculoos. Ed Butler. I don't know what he's saying that about, but yeah, okay, people. You can tell I'm rambling now. As I said, going to go and get ready for tonight's show. And for this big call for tomorrow morning as well. And then we are getting closer and closer and closer to ConExpo. There may be a slight change of plan as far as ConExpo is concerned. I originally said that I was going to broadcast on the Monday, the Wednesday and the Friday. I need to quash this one before I get onto that. Is a Jaffa a biscuit or a cake? Ed, clues in the title. And I realise that there's been this argument from the VAT man about whether it's a cake or a biscuit. It's called a Jaffa cake. Cake. It's soft. It's a cake. And to prove the point, if you keep a biscuit for too long, it goes soft. If you keep a Jaffa cake too long, it goes hard. They're opposites. It is a cake, and I will not listen to any other opinion on that. Lou has just spat her tea. Speculoos has just spat her tea out. I was going somewhere. Yeah, ConExpo. I actually said that I was going to broadcast on the Monday, the Wednesday, and the Friday. I've been very stupid there because the show doesn't actually open until the Tuesday. So, yes, I probably could put together a show and feature stuff that is non-ConExpo related, but I won't actually have ConExpo content until Tuesday night. So my current thinking is that I might go Wednesday. Let me think. If I'm filming it on the Tuesday, broadcast it on the Tuesday, so you'll get it Wednesday morning. So I may go Wednesday, possibly Thursday, and possibly Friday as well. There won't be a Monday show from ConExpo because it doesn't seem like there's any real point. But watch this space. What we'll do, what we always do, we will put up a thumbnail over on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter as well. If we're broadcasting, you will know about it. If we're not, if there's a gap, it's because I'm not able, for one reason or another. In other words, I haven't seen the show yet, or I can't find a decent Wi-Fi connection. The plan is, and just to show you, new laptop bag. The plan is I'm going to be taking the laptop to the show with me, so that I can go into the press office, put together the show, and ideally do a semi-live broadcast from there, and then I'll trigger it from there to go live the following morning so that you get it at 10 a.m. as usual. However, if I can't get the connection, if the line is too busy at the press office, then I'll be heading back to the hotel and hoping that the Luxor Wi-Fi will stand me in good stead as well. But one way or another, we'll be doing our very, very best to broadcast live from ConExpo. On one final point, which is something somebody asked me over on Instagram yesterday, but during our Talk Tuesday show over on Instagram yesterday, we're also going to be doing some Instagram lives. So these shows will continue as they are, the same format, music, interludes and everything else. Those will remain, but the content from ConExpo will be ConExpo. But also we're going to be taking taking this with us, stick it on a tripod, and I'll be trying to bring you a flavour of the show and a flavour of some of the stands, live and direct from those stands. And obviously you'll be able to see that over on Instagram. It'll be vertical format, so it won't work for this show, but if that's the kind of thing you're into, then please go and take a look. While I'm about it, I would strongly suggest that you check out the channels of Messrs Drew, Butler and Williamson, because I'm fairly sure all of those will be broadcasting live as well, and obviously Peter Haddock as well. So one way or another, you will be inundated with ConExpo coverage. It's almost like you don't need to go at all, although frankly I'm very glad that I am. People, go have a good day. Really enjoyed your company. Gary, if you haven't done so already, remind me of your address. This will be going in the post for you today. Until tomorrow, or until this evening. Love to see you again this evening, but one way or another, please join us again. Car parks tonight, more of this tomorrow. Till then, everybody, have a great day. Look out for those gas mains and electricity lines and water pipes and what have you. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. All the best.